Okay, we have 3 attendees.
So let's see. When you start getting picture, it should be live.
Okay, the ad is going.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Did you put the volume there?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Cool.
Alrighty.
I guess we're live.
Alright. We'll see. Hello friends. We are live, I guess. If someone can tell us if they can hear us and see us properly, that would be great.
Let's hope so.
Yeah?
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
4 peeps.
I'm gonna put the water to boil in the meantime.
Alright, no comments yet, but it seems decent.
Seems alright.
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie. Because
Oh,
I can
over
see
there it's
chat over
it's
here,
visible.
but not here.
Oh, weird.
Alrighty. Thank you, Jason.
Thanks. Let me just try again. Yeah, now it is.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Thank you, Jason. Alrighty, hello guys. I don't know how many people there are online, but welcome to another live stream. It's me and Valeria here from the Majestic Bean channel. Today, as you can see here, I have some coffees and we're gonna do a live cupping. This is not my first time cupping coffee, but it will be Valeria's first time. And it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. We're gonna be helping ourselves with the SCA official coffee tasters flavor wheel in the background, which is used usually for cupping to find aromas, flavors, and tasting notes of the coffee you're tasting. And I also have a miniature version of it as well over here. That's gonna come in handy, so I don't have to go in this place all the time and look at the stuff and so on and so on. So for today's video, on my right I have a natural Ethiopian coffee, and on my left these two, that's a washed coffee from Burundi. And these two cups and these two cups have the same coffee. The reason I have 2 cups each is just to make sure the extraction was right, because sometimes there could be a mistake that's out of our control. So that's why we maximize the chance of a nice tasting coffee by having more than 1 cup of that coffee. I have some boiling water here that I'm gonna use to brew the coffee, and we're gonna wait 4 minutes until it brews. Then we're gonna break the crust, scoop all of the dirty stuff on top, and start tasting.
Perfect. Let's do some greetings.
These are just glasses from IKEA, if you're wondering. We don't have professional cupping cups because they're very expensive. They're like $15 for 1 cup. So it's a bit too much.
Okay.
Anyway,
So,
Valeria is gonna go through the comments, see what's going on.
okay, so we got Jason and is it Isabel or
Isabel.
Isabel? Alright, so good morning to you guys. And Mark from Cyprus, good morning to you too. Or good evening, I guess.
Okay. So I'm putting in 12 grams of coffee and 200 grams of water. That's about it. There we go. 200 grams more or less. It's a bit difficult to be very accurate with this scale because it's a bit slow. There we go. And Valeria can see obviously there's a crust forming on top.
Yeah.
Right? It
and
looks like foam.
And that's what we're going to taste.
No, that's the coffee.
Yeah.
That's the ground coffee.
I had a complete different picture of a cupping in my head, but
There we go. These two are here. These two are here. See the camera? And I have this glass of water here that we will use first. When I scoop all of this stuff, I'm gonna put it here towards the spoons, and then I'm gonna replace it with a new glass of water, where every time you slurp a coffee, you put the spoon in it and you tap it here to get rid of all of the water, and then you go to the different coffee and so on. So that way it's you're minimizing the chances of cross-contamination.
Okay.
There we go, and we have this. This is a cool thing. I'm very happy with it.
The color wheel.
The coffee tasters chart, and I would recommend everyone to get one of these if you are just getting into coffee and you can't really like specify the flavor notes, the taste of the coffee, the aroma, and so on. This will guide you through it. So if you Google SCA, which stands for Specialty Coffee Association, and then SCA Flavor, what is it called? SCA Coffee Tasters Flavor Wheel. And you get this lovely thing over here with different categories, different, what are they called? Flavor categories basically. It goes from fruit to sour, green, roasted, spices, nutty, cocoa, floral, fruity, and so on. So it's kind of cool.
It's cool because it gets more specific the more it like goes outwards.
Yeah, that's the cool part.
Wow. Jason was asking, are you doing medium coarse grind?
I'm doing number 20 on the Barista Encore, which is around the setting that I'm using for a V60 pour over. So that's the grind setting. The same setting you would use, maybe a bit finer than a V60 pour over, but approximately in that range. You know, it's gonna be cool. Let's see. We're almost 3.5. So at 4 minutes, I'm gonna start breaking the crust by just swirling the coffee and agitating it. So that way all of this foam will fall on the bottom, and then there will be some scum. That's what it's called. It's scum on the top that will scoop out. It's gonna be fun. And I'm gonna start from my right towards the left because it started brewing from my right towards the left. Yeah. That's gonna be interesting.
That's it. We're ready.
And the reason I chose these two coffees is to make it easier for Valeria to notice the difference between them, because one is washed and one is a natural processed coffee. So you know it makes life much easier because the flavor profiles of these two coffees will be very different due to their processing methods.
At least it will be obvious.
Well, it should be, but we'll see. I'm not a professional eater. This is probably the third time I've actually been present when cupping coffee, and the last time I did it was probably at least 2 years ago. So you know, it's been a while. but it's still fun. Also, on a side note or another note, since the last time we did a live stream, I called my internet provider and we actually upgraded our internet plan to the internet provider's most expensive and fastest internet package basically. So now we have triple the upload speed than before, and since upload speed is key when it comes to live streaming, we will see today if the video quality will upgrade.
Let's hope so.
If it doesn't, I was actually talking to Jason a couple of weeks ago, and what we will do if the internet connection doesn't improve, we will actually run our second camera every time we do a live stream. So that way we live stream with one camera and we record in HD with the other and then upload the HD video later on.
Perfect.
That's a very nice solution, and that was Jason's idea. So
yeah.
Jason, God bless you, mate.
Thanks for the suggestion.
Anyway, now as you can see, I have these 2 spoons and I'm gonna slowly start scooping all of this cum, as you can see. And these 2 have,
They don't have it.
This one, these 2 don't have it. This is the natural coffee here, and this is the washed coffee here. So this one has it, that one doesn't.
Okay.
Isn't that weird?
That's interesting.
So there you go.
Oh.
Slowly. These cups are not ideal, but you see how it cleans it up now.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. Couple of comments. Jason says, I'll have to try 20. And then we have Luke saying, do you have to clean your grinder between each coffee type?
That's right. Gotta purge it.
Oh.
Basically what I did is, before I started grinding the first coffee, I put a couple of beans through it to make sure I get rid of any beans that are stuck in there from the last time I made a coffee. And also when I started switching to the next coffee that we're gonna cup, I also put through a couple of beans. So it's basically, it's called grinder purging, right? It's something that people that single dose their coffees already know about, but that's an excellent question, and I forgot actually to mention that. So now you can see all the cups are clean, right? Right. So now I'll start the timer again, and we'll wait around 3-4 minutes so the coffee cools down, and you can see also the coffee is slowly sedimenting on the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. So this is all the brewed coffee on top. I'll change.
Awesome.
Watch this.
What do we have? Jason asks, where did the term cupping come from?
Huh?
Where did the term cupping come from? Do you know?
I wish I knew, huh? It probably has to do something with the cups and the fact that you're putting the coffee in cups.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Diving into some deep waters, Jason, I don't know where the term cupping come from, but this is literally the quality control side of coffee roasters. When they roast coffee, when they source coffee, when they roast it, they gotta test it, and the only way to test it is to do a cupping session like this. Most of the time they would also do a blind cupping, so they're actually tasting coffee, but they don't know which coffee they're tasting. So that way you're not biased to saying, for example, if you're tasting a natural process coffee, you kind of know what to expect. But if you don't know it's a natural and it's just a blind cupping, you have no idea which coffee is which, then you minimize the chances of flavor bias or taste bias or whatever, taster's bias. And that way you avoid having a preconception about what you're gonna taste. We're not gonna do that today, but look, we're just amateurs, right? And we have bottles of water just to clean the palate. You can do that, you don't need this. It's up to you.
At the ready.
And also, most of the time, you notice that people that are cupping coffee also have another cup where they're spitting the coffee that they're tasting.
Oh.
Right? Because you get caffeine fatigue if you are tasting coffee all day.
Mean drinking.
Yeah, if you swallow the coffee.
Yeah.
But today, since we only have 4 cups of coffee, that's not going to be a problem. So
Okay.
we're not going to start spitting the coffee out. But you definitely notice that, like professionals, or when they have this table and it's full of different coffee cups and different coffees, they'll start slurping and spitting and making weird noises when they're slurping the coffee. I think I showed you actually, right?
Yeah, it's fun to watch. Yeah,
That sounds so weird when they do that.
I don't know how to do that yet, so I'll just be a noob today.
But there is a reason why they're doing that. When they're slurping the coffee and they're making those weird noises, they're actually inhaling air and slurping the coffee at the same time, because that's the optimal way of dispersing the coffee liquid in the mouth on all of the receptors that are in the mouth that are used for taste. So if you don't slurp the coffee, it's going to be much more difficult to taste what you are drinking. So yeah, there we go. 3.5 minutes.
We're ready.
I think we can slowly start. We're going to move from my right towards my left and just go through each of the coffee cups and see how we go. Maybe it's still hot. I don't even know. Let me see. Seems hot. So I'm just going to take a little scoop like this and just move through it.
And is that supposed to be for me?
No, wait. You move
that's-
from right to left as well.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So you
perfect.
just
So
wait
we're
for me
all-
to... So you just take a little scoop like this.
Oh my god. Okay.
Just a little one. So it's drinkable at the moment. Right?
Okay.
So you can move through here. And it's kind of fun. Let me see what's going on.
That's the last one.
My wife, Isabel, Jason's wife, is asking about the size of the spiders here in Melbourne.
They can be as big as you want.
Just
Oops.
be careful
Yeah.
not to spill coffee. I don't know, I haven't seen big spiders here in Melbourne, to be honest.
Well,
Right. Have
where we live, it's not that common. But if the more you go towards the outback, and the more you can get huntsmen and all the bad stuff that you see on documentaries.
I've been in Melbourne, I've been in Australia for the past almost 5 years now, or maybe more than 5 years. Anyway, I haven't seen big spiders, and I'm really hoping to keep it that way. So, because I'm not a big fan of spiders. They're cool looking though, but
Not even.
interesting. The coffee is cooling down now.
No.
So as it cools down, it'll open up, right? And you can taste different stuff. So what do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. Like I obviously, it's pleasant, but I don't know how to put it in the chart yet. Are we rotating now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can just notice the difference between these two cups, right?
They are different.
You haven't tried this
I
one
can't.
yet.
Oh yeah, no.
So
I
you
just
can't
mean.
taste it.
I just mean those two.
And these are the same.
They are the same, but are they on a different temperature already? Like slightly different temperature.
Should be within the same
Let me see.
range. Just you're taking too big scoop. The
Less-
scoop is very big, and
This
Let's do it.
this spoon, I don't think it's the best part.
also the spoon is very important. It has to be like a professional cupping spoon.
Yeah.
But since we're not professionals, any type of spoon will do, because this is a home setting, right?
I don't know.
So I will allow Valeria to go through it first without talking, so I don't say anything that I shouldn't. And then when she's done, I'm gonna give you my couple of cents about it.
Too much. There's a bit of suspense over here.
Interesting stuff. Would you be able to at least tell which one was the naturally processed coffee and which one was the washed coffee?
Was the washed over there? Yeah, I think it was, and this was the natural, obviously.
No, this is the natural and this is the washed.
No, wait.
Yes.
Was it the other way around?
So at the beginning of the video, I did this on purpose, where I said this is the washed and this is the natural, just so later on we can see if Valeria can tell the difference.
I cannot. But, oh no, actually I can, because...
I got the trick, the sneaky.
Now that I think about it, this one has a very, very more like delicate and watery taste compared to this one, which is a bit stronger. That's my main like thought on that. But then you kind of twisted the things, because that was making more foam, so I thought that to me was like an unnatural
Well, if
process.
I disclosed at the beginning...
Yeah, of course, like he wouldn't have pulled a sneaky on me.
Yeah.
But man, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, anyway, this is the natural coffee here, and when you taste it, you're getting this heavier body compared to the washed coffee. So the washed coffee is much more delicate, right? Which is something that you would expect, because natural processed coffee obviously need to ferment, and when they're fermenting, they're producing all the sugars and I don't know, whatever. And obviously, when you compare something that has gone through a process where sugars were forming and then something that was washed, you know, without any sugars forming, the one that has the sugars would obviously taste a bit heavier, because sweetness is heavier than something that's washed, if that makes sense, right? So caramel would taste heavier than, I don't know, simple syrup, or something that has just been sweetened a bit, if that makes sense. So this one has more body to it, right? So that's the first thing you notice. Then as soon as you notice that body, then you notice sweetness, a lot of sweetness. And it's a pleasant sweetness. As soon as you notice the sweetness, as soon as your tongue receptors notice the sweetness, you're getting this nice, pleasant, lingering acidity. This is an acidity that if I go through the flavor wheel over here, and we'll go through the fruitiness, which is the fruity acidity I'm talking about, this would be very comparable to something that is a dried fruit type of acidity, which is much, dried fruit acidity and sweetness, which is much heavier than normal fruit acidity. Whereas on the other hand, over here with the washed coffee from Burundi, I'll give it another slurp just so we can see what's going on. This is a much cleaner and much more delicate cup. This coffee is also a much fresher roast than this one. The natural coffee was roasted around almost 2 weeks ago. So it's 2 weeks off roast, whereas the coffee from Burundi is, I think, 4 to 5 days old. So you can also notice kind of the difference. I for example, notice a slight roastiness to this coffee, to the washed coffee from Burundi. And most of the time, when you're cupping a fresh coffee, you will notice this because the coffee probably hasn't rested enough yet. So different coffees react differently post-roast, so after being roasted. Some coffees tend to be at their optimal 3 days after roast. Some tend to be at the optimal week after roast, you know, so it's very difficult to assess it, but I can definitely notice that this one was roasted fresher than this one. Just started raining outside. It's bucketing today. So also this is a much more delicate, as I said, it's a much more delicate cup. It's not as sweet as this one, because obviously this is a natural coffee, but it's definitely on the sweet side. When it comes to acidity, I think the acidity will come through as it cools down even more, because I think the warmer the temperature, the easier it is to notice sweetness, but as soon as it starts cooling down, then the acidity takes over, at least from my experience.
Oops.
So we'll see what happens.
Making a mess on the color wheel.
So this is natural. Also from my experience, the cooler the coffee gets, the more easier it is to distinguish different tasting notes. I'm not sure about if you're noticing anything, but as it cools down, it kind of gets easier to notice the sweetness, the acidity. You can notice a bit of smokiness from this one actually. It's not necessarily unpleasant, but it's just something that you notice in the back of your tongue, in between your tongue and the cavity between the teeth and the tongue.
Yeah, the very back.
It kind of tingles you a bit, you know. It's interesting. This is a nice coffee. Don't get me wrong. I have a feeling that this, as it in another 2 or 3 days, will taste even better, because coffee needs time. And when people go to a specialty cafe or any cafe and they want to buy a bag, and they go checking the roast date and they say, I want something that's very, very fresh, they're not doing themselves a favor, because most of the time very fresh coffee does not actually taste good.
Fun fact.
Yes. So I have a bag of coffee here somewhere. I think it's this one. Okay, I don't know where it is. That's probably around a month old and it still tastes nice. That doesn't mean it's gonna taste nicer as time progresses, because coffee goes up in flavor and then reaches a plateau where then it starts going down. So it over time it gets the diminishing returns, if that makes sense.
What's the peak usually?
I don't know. It's different with different coffees. So there is no rule to this. You know, if you taste the coffee every day, you find a day where it tasted perfect. So as soon as it tastes perfect, that's it. Lock it in for that coffee, right?
Okay.
So let's continue slurping.
That's right.
This is why I love natural coffees. I don't know. I'm probably just this is just a rookie bias so far, but I prefer naturally processed coffees to washed coffees because they always taste nicer. They have this deeper taste to them. You know, there is more.
It's getting better.
There is more sugary taste to it. You know, there is more sweetness.
Yeah.
Whereas washed coffees tend to be delicate, floral, clean as well. You know what I mean?
There's more berry taste now on this one.
Interesting stuff. Also, a quick shout out to our friend Jason.
Yeah.
The coffee from Burundi is actually a coffee that he sent us a couple of days ago. So thank you, Jason.
You are
much
great.
appreciated. Much appreciated.
Oh, we're behind some comments. So
Valeria will go through the comments.
Where are you? Is this the name? Just a small bean in a big bag.
That's Jake.
Thanks. What do you guys taste? Okay, I think we've been.
Yeah, we went through that.
We went through that. And then Jason, yeah, then Isabel feels comfortable visiting you one day. Yeah.
Oh, you should definitely come in.
We're looking forward to this.
Since you got vaccinated, I think you can hop on a plane now because Victoria just announced that they will be allowing international flights in Melbourne back, right? From next week.
I don't know
probably.
when from, okay.
I think from next week. So that's it. COVID is gone. Everyone's happy.
Okay.
That's it.
And Andrea says, hello guys, just joined. Good morning.
Hello, Andreas.
And Jason, glad you love it. Yes, we do.
Also, if whoever is on here watching, you can let us know in the comments below if you have ever done coffee cupping yourself and share your thoughts about it as well. That would be cool. There must have been someone here or someone who watched this video that has done some coffee cupping, right?
For sure.
Or if you haven't, then it's a cool experiment to do at home. If you go online and search for how to do this, how to set up a cupping station and so on, it might look a bit intimidating because most of the time you will see these people using all of these nice cups that are specifically made for cupping coffee, right? And then they have these colorful white spoons and they start making these slurping noises and all of this bullshit, and then they start making up some flavor notes and whatever, and sometimes it can feel intimidating. At least that's how I felt when I did my first cupping. I think it was, 3 years ago in this roastery. Everyone walks in, looking all snobbish and, I'm the best here, I know what I'm tasting. And it's like a big measuring contest where everyone is trying to make the loudest slurp, because most of the time the one with the loudest slurp asserts their dominance in the group like that. So it's very interesting. So if you don't want to experience that, just get yourself a cup, brew the coffee 1:16 ratio with a grind setting similar to what you would grind for a V60. Pour some water, brew it for 4 minutes, go through this video that we just made, see how we did it, repeat the same thing, and just enjoy the process, because it's interesting to actually develop your palate and be more confident when it comes to just picking up tasting notes, aromas from any coffee. And it's also a fun exercise for you to do. Even better if you could get one of these flavor wheels. If you buy it from the SCA website, you're also supporting their work and so on. So that would be cool. You can also download a PDF version and print it out yourself. I think it costs $20 to do that. 20 Aussie dollars. So maybe it's gonna be
even cheaper for you.
Even cheaper for our American friends.
This coffee, it's getting more, I don't know, like ashy as it cools down. To me, though.
I think the roastiness is coming through because it's fresh. Also, are you getting anything else other than that?
Not really. I think I will have to try again to see if anything's popping up.
Let's see what Valeria says, then I'll give you my 2
Now I
cents.
feel the pressure.
This one is starting to taste like strawberries.
Yeah, more like berries, yeah.
Which is very interesting. It actually reminds me of a coffee Valeria brought me from Spain when she went to on a Euro trip. What was it, 3 years ago or 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Something like that. She brought me this delicious coffee from Spain, a natural processed Ethiopian. And this one at the moment tastes exactly as I remember that coffee tasting, which is fucking cool if you think about it.
Am I hallucinating, or this coffee also sort of tastes more like this sort of flavor field.
Which is?
Greeny.
Vegetative.
Yes.
Well, that's a good pickup because that's exactly what I was thinking.
Really?
Yeah. So
That's not a trick. You're not tricking me.
I'm not sure why.
It feels like a fresh bean still. Something like that.
Let me give it another go.
Yeah.
Have you ever smelled how green beans smell?
No. I think I never did.
This flavor at the moment, I would associate it to how green coffee beans smell.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
It's very weird.
There's
It's very weird. I need to try both cups.
You know, it's there's other shades on that like kind of greeny vegetative feel. For example, if you know what a fresh pea pod like smells like, you can you know, work your way through and associate it to that.
So this one is probably now at around probably 45-50 degrees.
Yeah.
I have a thermometer. So just like anything else, coffee, I previously I mentioned the point of diminishing returns. So coffee is very hot, right? It's very hot and you can't notice shit. Then it starts cooling down and you can notice more and more, right? And it starts tasting better. But after a certain temperature, when it starts cooling down, it starts tasting bad again. So you're kind of catching this wave of flavor. You can't notice anything, slowly noticing a lot of things, slowly starts getting better and better and better, tastes best, and then after this point, it starts cooling down and it starts tasting worse and worse. So at this point, if I put this thermometer in...
I think that this coffee is peaking in this very moment.
At the moment, what did I say, around 40-50 degrees? At the moment it's at 46 degrees, 45 and something. So as you can see, this coffee has arrived at a point of a diminishing return where now it's starting tasting a bit worse than before, right? And this other coffee, the natural, let's see, should be around the same temperature because they were brewed at the same time. And as you can see there, this is actually a degree colder than the other one. But for example, this one still tastes good, whereas this one is starting to taste a bit vegetative. Vegetalio. I don't know. I don't know what word to use, but definitely
like fresh, but fresh in a
bad way. It's like imagine eating just lettuce, just chomping on lettuce, huh? Yeah, that's not very pleasant. Or just eating a raw celery just like that. It's not very pleasant. So it hit a point where it was tasting nice, a bit roasty, but still nice. And now all of a sudden, just getting worse and worse. And this coffee tastes like juice, basically. This coffee, as it cools down, will start tasting like fruit juice, which is amazing. It tastes like some sort of diluted berry juice, because as it cools down, the body that this coffee has starts decreasing, but the berry notes start amplifying. So it would taste like, imagine diluting a strawberry juice. If you've ever had strawberry juice, usually it's very thick, but if you dilute it a bit, you know, it kind of opens up, which is very interesting. So we'll see what happens. As you can see, I also don't know how to make the slurping sounds. But this cool spoon that Valeria got out of nowhere, it's a vintage soup spoon, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Vegetative, that's it. That's it, Jason. Vegetative. That's exactly what this coffee from Burundi tastes like at the moment.
At 43 degrees.
Yep. Fucking hell, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I wish you would have smelled green coffee beans, because this is exactly how I imagine green coffee beans would taste like. It's so incredible. I was roasting coffee yesterday, and I had this sack of green coffee that I emptied in the coffee roaster, and I don't know why I thought, let me just see how this smells once it's empty, and that smell is literally how I imagine that would taste if it was brewed, which it can't, but it's just very interesting to associate the two.
Yeah.
So it's not that pleasant, you know. But anyway, it is what it is.
I believe that this coffee is dying out in flavor too.
Probably, yeah, it's possible.
It's
You know.
it's going down. Maybe I can try.
But this was fun, you know. It's a lot of fun. I'm just gonna do a quick check on the camera battery, just in case. Fucking hell, we're good to go.
Yeah.
We're good. The battery is full. So anyway, what else? Obviously, we've been making videos as per usual since the last time we went live.
And there's more to come.
There is more to come. We have another video coming on this Monday, which is also another fun video. Lately, I have been doing a couple of videos about the encore and the sete, answering some important questions that a lot of people have been asking themselves. Most of the time it's whether the Barista sete is a good filter brewing grinder, and whether the Barista encore is a good espresso grinder. So last Monday we answered the question about the Barista sete, and obviously in that video the Barista sete didn't have any mods, so there were a couple of people who commented that there are ways to make the Barista sete a better brewing grinder, as in filter brewing, but that would include modding the burr, getting a new burr, and I wasn't into that. I just wanted to know how it performs out of the box. I was also lucky enough to I reached out to the importer for the Barista products in Australia, and they do have another burr that they recommend for the Barista sete for using it as a filter brewing grinder, and it costs around $60. So I'll be getting that and making another video where I compare the grinder with the original burr and with the burr that's recommended for filter brewing methods, and we will see how that performs, and obviously answer the question if it's worth for you to spend those extra money into getting the second burr and having one grinder that's suited for both espresso grinding methods, espresso brewing methods, and filter brewing methods. So that way it's gonna be interesting to find out what's going on. We've also started making a bit shorter videos than usual, because obviously people are busy nowadays and they don't have time to watch a 25-minute video. So we would be making like 10 to 15 minute long videos, and then every now and then we would go live and make like an hour-long video. So that way we satisfy both the needs of the people who don't have time, and we also talk and chat to the people that want to join us on a live stream for a longer video, that have time and want to chat to us, want to have some fun, and so on and so on. So probably every once a month, let's say, we would go live, see what happens. Hopefully the video quality has improved this time, so we'll see.
It looks like it. Hopefully when we upload it, it's gonna be better.
I think it's better than last time, but it's still not as clear as I would want it to be honest.
Jason asks, why do they wash the coffee if natural is much better?
No, natural is. I'm not saying natural is much better. I'm not saying that. There is no right or wrong here. It just for this particular coffee, you know. And then it's also a personal preference. Like I, for example, prefer natural coffee beans, but coffee professionals, to be honest, prefer washed coffee beans because they tend to be brew. I mean, they tend to result in a clearer cup, if that makes sense. So I'm not a coffee professional per se, so maybe that's why I'm my amateur tasting buds prefer natural coffees. But every coffee professional that I know that is either a roaster or that has done some competitions and so on when it comes to barista championships and so on, they all prefer washed coffees because they tend to produce a clean cup, nice and juicy, sweet, citrus acidity, floral tasting notes and so on, you know. So it's, you know, I wouldn't say there is right or wrong, better or worse. It just, in this particular case, these two different coffees resulted in different tastes. One was more enjoyable than the other one, but that doesn't mean that naturals are better. Also, I reckon this coffee is going to be much better as it progresses. So in probably 2 to 3 days, I have a feeling it's going to be amazing. So,
to be continued.
You know, don't worry about it. Buy washed coffee as well. You know, don't just stick to naturals, because natural coffees, natural processed coffees, tend to have a very similar flavor profile. So after a while, you get bored. How can you know that's good coffee, though? I think this was an Ethiopia Walichu Wachu. That's a very interesting name as well. Walichu Wachu.
It's nice to pronounce.
So yeah, that's about it. I think if anyone has any more questions, you can ask now before we wrap it up. I'm just gonna go through these coffees again because they have cooled down probably significantly now. They're within the 35 to 40 degree range, Celsius, right? So it's been fun. I think we'll be doing coffee cupping more often. I don't know why I haven't done it so far. And I don't know what inspired me. I think I saw a video of James Hoffman doing something about cupping coffees at home, and I thought, why not do it ourselves, right? Because it's cool. And it's also a new experience for Valeria.
It's nice.
Would have been nice if Madeline would have been here as well, but she has a bridal shower for her sister's wedding.
Okay.
So she's out, but next time we do a cupping, we'll try to get Madeline here as well, because it's interesting to see another person's perspective that doesn't drink coffee. You know?
That's even more interesting.
Yes, because at least Valeria drinks coffee, but Madeline doesn't. So it's cool to see what she thinks, you know.
Yeah, true.
Andreas is asking which roast level we prefer. I prefer lighter roasted coffees, but that's just me. That's what I'm saying. There are no rules to this game, to be honest. You know, it's all personal preference. Don't feel wrong if you enjoy something, because you are paying for it. So if you're enjoying it, just do whatever you're doing. But also it's interesting to switch it up a bit, you know, change it, mix it up a bit, you know, try different things. A perfect example is our friend Jason. He used to drink very dark roasted coffees, and after a suggestion I made to try something else, now he's hooked on very light roasted coffees with different processing methods from different origins. He's been trying some geisha coffees as well, which is basically the Bentleys and Bugattis of the coffee world. Very expensive coffees for those who can afford it, but if you can afford it, it's definitely worth giving them a try. They grow in Panama, Ethiopia, and some other South American or Central American countries. And if you can afford paying 60 USD for a small bag of coffee, then you should definitely go for it and try it yourself. You know, that's about it. I think if Jason was listening to this, he'll probably how do you say, confirm what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's kind of cool. There we go.
Yes, love the new blend.
I know, man. If they ever come and visit us in Melbourne, Jason and Isabel, we'll go try different coffees, because Melbourne, I think, is the coffee capital. Yeah, we're gonna Melbourne is the coffee capital of the world. So we are very blessed to be here in this part of the world, enjoying coffees roasted in Melbourne, roasted by coffee professionals from Melbourne, and so on. So I think we'll wrap it up. What is it?
8:50.
50 minutes. 50 minutes. I think that's long enough. We tried the coffees. Today we preferred, or at least I preferred, the natural coffee from Ethiopia to the washed coffee from Burundi.
Yeah, I did that too.
But that doesn't mean natural coffees are better than washed coffees. So it's all good. Also, this one was a bit fresher as well, so
yeah,
we'll taste it again soon.
Yeah,
see
it's
how
weird
it goes.
how now at this temperature it literally tastes green.
And I purposefully printed out this coffee taster's wheel over here to look cool, but
it doesn't look very.
It looked good. It looked good in theory in my head, but when you put it in practice, I was constantly blocking it by standing in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I wasted my money, but I still like it. Look at it. It's so cool. Nice. And it's big, so you can go to it, you know, and point out the different tasting notes you are sensing or tasting or whatever. And yeah, that's it. So whoever was watching, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I want to thank you for joining us. And whoever will be watching this video, I thank you as well, and you're much appreciated. We're gonna go continue with our day now, and check out our new video on Monday. I think it's gonna be interesting, and you might learn something new, or at least you might get a very important question answered this Monday. Also, if you want to buy us a coffee, if you're a fan, if you enjoy our videos, you can do that by pressing the PayPal link in the description below. While you're there, you can also check us out on social media at TMBean channel, both on Instagram and Facebook, right? And we have some affiliate links that support our channel every time you purchase something from there. We have the grinders, the machines, some recommended equipment, scales. We have the coffee dosing funnel as well. That's the most popular purchase so far.
You found it?
Yeah. Jason helped me find it.
Oh, that's good.
Actually, the right size, because it was very, very hard to source it. So we have the right size coffee funnel, coffee dosing funnel, for everyone that's struggling to put the ground coffee in the coffee basket. So that's cool. And as I said, thank you very much for joining us today, and we will see you in the next video. So hopefully you have a wonderful day or evening wherever you are. And that's about it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I'm gonna go and turn off Namaste. I'm gonna turn off the live stream, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.